I'm Ashton Addison from Blockwest Capital for InvestmentPitch Media and the Crypto Coin Show. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Paurav Joshi, the CEO of Krida Fans. Paurav, welcome to the show, and thanks so much for taking the time to be here.
Thanks, Ashton. It's a great pleasure to be on the show. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. I'm excited to dive into the world of fans and how fans are interacting with the blockchain, getting involved in sports in other ways as well. I think this is a really great initiative that's going on inside of blockchain that's helping a lot more people understand how blockchain can be such a benefit. I would love for you to kick it off by just telling us a little bit about Krida Fans, why you started it, what are the solutions you're driving into the space?
Sure. So Krida Fans is fantasy sports done right, where everyone has a fair chance to win. You can say it is an upgraded version of Sorare. What we are driving via Krida Fans and why the Krida Fans started in the first place. So the inception of idea has come in the month of February, March, where we were thinking on with the available technology of blockchain and like blockchain plus NFT, can we do something that makes a difference rather than just having a blockchain forcefully fitting into the solution? Can we do something that makes sense for the blockchain, that makes sense for the Web 2.0 fantasy sports experience? And that's where I love football, my co-founder love football. So that is where we started. Okay, football is a global sport, football or soccer for the US folks. So that soccer or football is a global sport. So why not to jump it? And because I know each and every detail on the ground and everything, so I can definitely share more on that, and my knowledge, I can use my knowledge. So Krida Fans started with the idea that, okay, let's have fantasy football or fantasy soccer platform on the blockchain. But that is actually a very close vision. If you see only you, your users, and your platform, how can you make it 100x? So I talk with the folks like you and other intelligent folks on this is my vision. What do you think? How can we make it better? So this interaction led us, because Web 3.0 is more about collaboration than competition. So these folks, I am discussing with them, and that led to our 100x vision. So there is a saying, at a scale, a game becomes a platform. So, and that actually Electric Capital owner Avichal Garg told me in one of his email conversation that you can think on that part. So that is where our vision dots are connected. DraftKings and FanDuel are one of the most used platforms in US for fantasy sports. But if you have to go from FanDuel to DraftKings, can you take your cards with you? Can you take your all reputation with you? Unfortunately, no. And that's what we are trying to, that is what long-term vision of Krida Fans. We are going to, with Krida Fans, we are going to create a platform where backend or the base will be provided by us. Any Web 2.0 developer can come and build Web 3.0 fantasy sports platform using our API. So if someone's saying, Paurav, I can build better fantasy soccer football platform than you, feel free, come over, use our API, and then we both platform will compete for user engagement. Whoever has better user incentive, user will go there without losing their credibility or without using their reputation. And I don't know honestly about basketball than just 1% of it. So if I am building basketball fantasy sports, that will be like a business you are building without passion. And that's what I'm not going to do, that I'm going to give grant for other people to do that. So that is what Krida Fans vision. It is to decentralize the fantasy sports rather than having one fantasy sports on the blockchain.
Definitely. That's a great vision, Paurav. And that makes a lot of sense. And I know that the fantasy sports platforms like DraftKings in America are so popular. And as you mentioned there, if you want to move to another platform or say you move to another country and you want to do different sports or a different platform, you can't take anything. It's all owned by DraftKings, and you're really building an equity inside of something that when you walk away, it's gone, right? So I'm guessing that's part of the core vision is with the NFTs probably is like owning whatever you have in the platform, whatever you've worked on, you actually get to own that, and you can transfer that to some other form of value in the future.
That's it. The NFT part and the blockchain part of right now, the Polygon and Solana, the scale of that, the cost of that is making it possible. If I would have been 2020 or 2018, it would have been tough business because $50, $500 gas fee is not an easy for everyone. So yeah, that's where this actually technology also now makes sense. And as you told, so there are so many fantasy sports platforms you might see nowadays than 6 months ago. But what I think that the missing part is how do we think about scarcity? Today, anyone can access CryptoPunk. How many people can buy CryptoPunk today?
Not many.
It's like the cost is such that board app or CryptoPunk can be bought by only few folks. And that is good for art. That is good for collectibles. Now, when it comes to fantasy sports, if you are a basketball player and suppose there is a game of Michael Jordan going on and you want to have him in fantasy sports, you have only 10 rare cards. I will hold all the 10 rare cards in my wallet. Now, can you make a winning team without Michael Jordan? You don't have anything to make a team out of. So you are favoring few over others when you mint limited number of items, when you create scarcity by that in sports. It is good for arts and collectibles. I'm not denying on that part. But in sports, I think that has to be different. And that is where we are coming up with our own innovative concept of scarcity by skill. How you use your NFTs in making your fantasy team makes your game and your NFT rare. If you don't use your NFT, slowly it will get, that rarity will be slowly erodes out. So you have to continue to use your NFT and you have to make sure you choose the right person as a captain and vice captain in your fantasy team. So that is how Krida Fans first differentiation, and the main point is scarcity by skill.
That's very interesting. I haven't heard of that before with the usability, but that makes sense. I could see how people would be picking up NFTs as long-term collectors potentially, but also, fantasy sports are meant to be used when the game, when you're playing games and you're actually using the cards rather than just hoarding all of the collectibles and then forgetting about them.
Yeah, and that is where our second USP comes out. So once, suppose at the end of the season you have 50-60 cards, what will you do with it? It is just like old cards, and new season comes, people start with the new cards. Then okay, what will happen to the old cards? And that is the case with any game, any fantasy sports as of today. So what you do, I get this inspiration from my childhood. So you might have different cards, but we had a WWE cards in my childhood. So there are like player name and player photo, and then there are player attributes. So it was just having fun to playing that card games with my friends, because that has so many attributes, player statistics, like what is height, weight, bicep, tricep, chest. So if you have a guy with the highest weight, if you have a guy with highest height, you can still play the game. And that is what we set out to do. Our each NFT is detail rich NFTs. It is just not player name, country, club, season, that's it. No, it has details, metadata, which update after every game. So this is like programmable NFT. Number of minutes player played, number of cards collected, yellow or red, what is their Krida rank based on how they perform. So there are so many properties which are going to change after every match. So we are trying first ever programmable NFT on Solana that is changing after every match. And how that helps, you have 50-60 NFT at the end of the season. What do you don't have every time you have to just incentive. You can have a fun also. Have fun, play card games with your friends. So all these NFTs are on blockchain, right? So we are going to give people grants to make the third party applications, card games, poker, anything can be possible, because we both can have messy, and we both have different attributes of messy based on our reality, on how you used it and how I used it.
Cool.
So there are n number of possible games on top of these cards, and you are playing physical cards with your friends in your some evening and all. So you can do the same thing. So this is the second usage, detail rich NFTs enabling third party games in metaverse. So you can just use it anywhere, you can do anything. And that's where we want people to build it rather than we build everything, because they can set their own incentives. They don't need us.
Amazing, Paurav. Very cool. And I know you mentioned that you've been working on this since the beginning of the year, and there's been different iterations as your team is working on the development. Can you talk about where the platform's at right now?
Yeah, sure. So we are, so it's 36 weeks. We completed, this is 37th week running since the inception of the idea. You can go through our Twitter to find out each week journey on what we did each week. We try to make it fun and hopefully you like it. But yeah, on the platform, so we are going to come out for the, we have running our waitlist, and that is going to close soon. And we are going to come out in, for like that waitlist folks, we are going to come out in next 6 weeks, around next 4 to 6 weeks, that we are going to come out, and that people can get their hands on. We are as of now in private alpha, where internally we are testing on, we are trying to remove all the bugs and fixes as max as possible, but still there will be something that you guys will find out that we missed out because of we are using it from long time. So that's where we are looking into, and the fun that you will have.
That's great. And you mentioned at the beginning about how this is perfect timing, because before, the transaction fees on Ethereum wouldn't support fantasy sports for smaller transactions, but with Solana you're able to do that. Maybe you can talk a little bit about the Solana ecosystem, why it makes Krida Fans such a great platform to build on top of.
Oh yeah, definitely. So Solana ecosystem, when we started, was a little small, because we started, as I told, 36 weeks ago. So at that time, people are still trying to make, and the ecosystem is growing. So what that helped, and that is now I can see that is growing, is founder is helping another founders. People are very collaborative, people are helping each other. So it is more of a collaborative community. That is first thing. Second, as because Solana is fast and it is cheap, both fast, cheap, and it is like composable. So how that help? So because of fast, we don't have to worry if someone is pressing on the last second of the match to submit their team. We don't have to worry about anything that 10 minutes it will take because the network is congested in Ethereum. We don't have to concern about that. And also because it is cheap. So it is cheap for people also, it is cheap for us also. And how that helps, so we will give away more rewards easily rather than taking something back, because actually we have to sustain ourselves. So like Krida is going to be sustainable business to start with. We are not in the business of like, okay, give all the rewards in the first 6 months and then your treasury is empty, and then, okay, what are you going to do? So that is where Solana helps us in making sure that you are cheap, you are fast, your finality is there, and yes, you can build composable things. So that is where Solana's new addition comes in. And nowadays there are so many open source, there are so many codes, people are open sourcing things. That is helping a lot in making the new initiatives.
Very cool. And I'm curious on the depth of when you're inside the platform, you can have NFTs, you can have players, you can have different kind of NFTs. Is it also in a way like a prediction market where you're betting on specific things, or what are the limitations in what you can do inside of Krida Fans?
Oh yes, so you can't bet in Krida Fans. So how will you do? Our innovation is within fantasy sports. How will you choose your NFT in your fantasy team? Which position you will choose? Whom you will choose captain and vice captain? That will define rarity of your NFT. So our innovation is within fantasy sports. Now you make a team and you bet who is going to win. We don't do that because that's not what we are set out to do. Our vision is getting revenue and getting people benefit of playing fantasy sports. That is the main thing, because fantasy sports has not been innovated from last 5 to 6 years. All are playing the same way. When I say all, so either you in web 3.0, what I see, people says you hold some NFT. If player plays something, you still make a team via web 2.0 way. If player scores the highest goal, you will get some rewards. So you hold NFT as just like as an outsider, periphery of fantasy sports, not within fantasy sports. And like Sorare is doing great job making people aware about NFTs and all on Ethereum platform and Starkware. But there is also, they have to make a 5-player team. So I would not say that as a fantasy sports web 2.0 experience. We want to make sure that people have the same experience. They don't have to learn something new, but at the same time, they get something new. Like 90% I know, 10% I need to learn. That is good. 90% I need to learn, 10% I know. I will give out. Sorry.
I love it. And okay, well, I'm excited to. You mentioned that the people on the wait list will be getting part of the open beta, and eventually later by the end of this year here, the end of the year is coming up quickly, we'll be able to experience more about Krida Fans. And I know alongside that, I believe there's a Krida token that's also coming in on Solana that's going to be interoperable within the platform. Can you talk about the functionalities of the token and how that works within Krida?
Yeah, definitely. So we thought a lot on why we need a token in the first place. Can you just work without token? And there comes that, okay, you want to make sure as your platform grows, the ethos of Web3 is your user getting benefit out of it, not like Web 2.0. Like I need to hold DraftKings share to get benefit. If DraftKings is not registered, honestly, I'm not getting benefit, although I'm spending $1,000 every day. So that is where we want to change. How we want to change is the Krida tokens utility is going to be, the features are going to unlock as the number of tokens you have in your place. So suppose you have 10 tokens, 20 tokens in your wallet. So you can edit your team. If you have like more number of tokens, you in live match, you can replace your substitute with the player. So those kind of features we have that are going to unlock as people are going to have X number of tokens in their wallet. That is one thing. The another thing, as and when people are going to pay entry fee via Krida tokens, but as and when entry fee will have each match, we will burn 10% of revenue. So whatever entry fee we are getting, total 10% of that will be burned.
Wow.
So that will help to make sure that people are having value of it. These are the two features. And the third thing, and like when you transact NFT, so you are going to buy NFT, you are going to sell NFT. That NFT transaction or trading will happen in the Krida tokens. So how that will make sure that ecosystem is there and every investor is there, because sometimes we only think about builders, sometimes we only think about the people who are playing game, but we have to think also about whole community where there are going to be investor who are not going to be player, but who are going to support you in staking and liquidity. So that is why if you stake Krida tokens and if you win, like Ashton has made 300 points, he is number 1 position. Paurav also made 300 points, he is number 1 position. And Ashton has staked 100 Krida tokens, Paurav has 0. Then you will get on top of that rewards, because you staked, you get some more rewards than what is you are guaranteed.
Yeah.
So those are few things that are in actually in building. Yeah. So Krida tokens has a utility to make sure that people are having fun, as well as they are having that tokens, then they are getting value out of it by playing it.
Great. Thank you so much, Paurav, for explaining that. And that's great to know about the staking functionality as well. Now, for the viewers that are looking to follow along with the release of the platform, with the waitlist, with learning more about the Krida Fans NFTs and everything else, what's the best way for them to get involved and to get into the community?
Sure. So we are only on 2 platforms. One is on Twitter and one is on the Discord. There are Medium articles that we released. You can go through that to understand what is Krida Fans. Our white paper just got legal views. So white paper will be out in few days or few weeks, let's say, based on that. But yeah, mainly you can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on Discord. Both you can find out on both links I found out on our website as well as on Twitter. So Twitter is KRIDA FANS, Krida Fans. You can go to Twitter, you can just find Krida Fans, and that's it. And Krida.fans is the website, as simple as the name, and you can go there also. You can find the link of both.
Sounds great, Paurav, and I will leave those links as well in the description box below for the viewers. All the best on Krida Fans moving forward. I'm excited to play the game when it comes out and get my fantasy sports team. And until then, let's follow up in the near future.
Sure. Thank you, Ashton. And yep, I will hope that you will also have the fun that we are having as of now playing. Sure.